Ladies and gentlemen, for the opening note, now it's time for some special addresses from the eminent personalities who have been instrumental in shaping the landscape of connectivity and technology at the same time. Now, let's call upon Mr. Prashant Singhal, Technology, Media and Entertainment and Telecommunication Leader at EY, who will share the opening note on impact of 5G in India and key enablers to realize it. Prashant is in charge of organizing EY services throughout the firm's numerous emerging markets and creating sector strategy for the technology and telecommunications sector. Without further ado, please put your hands together for Mr. Prashant Singhal, everyone.
Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Louder. Good morning. It's a Friday morning. It's a Friday morning. Weekend coming, and Pradeep just said that he's going to get some wine in the afternoon. Depends on the energy in this room. He's going to get some wine arranged, right? And the number of angel investments that he's made. He just told me he's got a few unicorns in that. So you'll get some good wine and good alcohol in the afternoon. Thank you, Pradeep. We'll all stay back for the alcohol. Thank you. ये बताइए यहाँ पे कितने लोग हैं जिनके पास 5G है उनके फ़ोन पे? हाँ चल रहा है कि नहीं वो शाम आंसर कर देंगे कितने में चल रहा है कितने में नहीं चल रहा है और अगर अगर जियो का नहीं है तो बाकी जो आएंगे ड्यूरिंग द डे वो आंसर कर देंगे बट आई थिंक वी so we've had a wonderful journey when it came to 5G over the last couple of years. अगर हम 2-3 साल पहले देखें India was and India when I refer to India here it's not India in terms of the political party of India, it is India as in country India. ठीक है तो आप ये मत सोचिए कि मैं इंडिया उन इंडिया की बात कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे मैं इंडिया एज इन भारत देश की बात कर रहा हूँ. सो इफ़ आई जस्ट गो बैक टू 2.5 years हम लोग को लग रहा था 5G आएगा नहीं आएगा क्या होगा कैसे होगा एंड देन सडनली वी हैड दिस entire thing on the spectrum auction, spectrum allocation, and then thanks to people like Sham, we got 3 lakh sites overnight, right? And India has been one of the fastest deployments of 5G to date in the world, and I think we should all be proud of that. Everybody came together to make that happen. And जो कह रहे हैं कि 5G चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा है आपको मैं बताता हूँ कि 30% of 5G connections that are there, you experience 5G in 30% of the connections. And this is still one of the top 10 globally in the world. So we are doing very well. We are not doing bad. We are doing very well in spite of the financial situation that the sector has. And we'll talk about that as well as we progress over the next few minutes. There is 5G, there is almost 1 out of every 2 smartphones which today are shipped and they are 5G enabled smartphones. The experience on downloads has just gone up substantially. So between 4G and 5G करीब 19 टाइम ज़्यादा स्पीड का एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा है इस देश में. And there is the video content improvement or improvement of video content is almost like 23-24%. So on and whole, I think we've seen some very good deployment of 5G. We've seen some good experiential improvement, provided people start using 5G and provided we give time to the operators to cover the entire country. India also is currently at a stage of, really digital evolution, if I were to say it. We are seeing a huge uplift on digital economy. I don't know कितने लोग G20 का video देखा था on digital pavilion. Did people see that? Yeah, I think G20 was a big success. We must thank the Honorable Prime Minister for this. And maybe we should just give a... Are you guys recording it and then putting it on the PMO side? Okay. नहीं G20 मैं G20 की बात कर रहा हूँ 5G की नहीं बात कर रहा हूँ मैं 20G की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ G20 की बात कर रहा हूँ. Okay, so I think G20 was a big success, as we all know, right? And the digital pavilion was just unbelievable, and that's the place where all the digital innovations of the country were reflected. That video was unbelievable, and if we just see almost 1/3 of our population, 3 लोग 140 करोड़ लोगों में से online videos use कर रहे हैं. There are almost 30% of our population which is online gamers. There are online shoppers are almost 50 crores plus today. And these online shoppers are, whether they're shopping 10%, 20%, 30% of their needs, we don't know that. So the opportunity for this ecosystem to develop is huge. And all that is at the back of, the entire digital evolution which is happening, or the connectivity which is happening. We have, in the DigiLocker itself, आज के दिन almost 4 documents per population is already uploaded. That is in spite of some of the speed issues we all have and some of the connectivity issues that we all have. So imagine when 5G happens, then what's going to happen to DigiLocker. The Aadhaar users, we all know we have almost 140 crores, 130 crores Aadhaar users. UPI, I think everybody knows about UPI here, but just to put it in perspective, 1,000 crore transaction महीने के UPI में हो रहे हैं, और 14 lakh crore is the value of transactions which is happening. 14 lakh crores. And in a month, and that is highest. The number of transactions that we do in UPI are almost 50% of the world digital transactions on currency. What is the relevance of all this in this conversation? It is that India, with a limited broadband highway, has been able to achieve this. Imagine when we get to 5G, what's going to happen? And when 5G is available to everybody in this country, what's going to happen? We can just see a huge transformation that could happen. UPI itself, and we had a few visitors from EY Global in the last couple of weeks, and they were fascinated to see and hear about UPI. उनके साथ मैं चावड़ी बाजार भी गया था, वहाँ पे उन्होंने अपना फ़ोन लगाया, फ़ोन में देखा ट्रांसफ़र हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है, and when this inter-country transfer happens, then it's going to be even unbelievable. So we are where we are, but we have a great opportunity going forward, and that's the reason why the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, had put almost 450 billion to be contributed from 5G in the next 10 to 12 years. And the digital economy in this country is going to be almost $1 trillion in the next few years. So आज के दिन जो 5G की contribution होगी वो 3-4 बिलियन होगी मेरे ख्याल से, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं होगी, 3-4 बिलियन होगी. तो अगर इसको 450 पे जाना है, मतलब 100 गुना जाना है, तो बहुत कुछ हमें करना पड़ेगा. We will have to do a lot as a collective group of government, operators, ecosystem players, and us as people who use telecom services and connectivity services. And believe me, this is going to change the life of every individual. Every Indian's life is going to change with the expansion and advent of 5G. Some of the basic use cases, and I'm sure you've heard about this a lot. This is not rocket science for anybody. But मैं आपको एक बताता हूँ, I was just going to Chandigarh and I was going on a train journey to Chandigarh. And there's an elderly couple, 70 years old, sitting next to me. They had a smartphone, very excited, and they were able to see Badrinath Darshan on the phone. And this is like a couple of months ago. And then I asked them कि आपके पास 4G है, 5G है, 5G है. And they were able to see that, and I could see the sense of satisfaction. They said, I can't go there, but I can see this, and I can feel it. And the quality was amazing. So that is what 5G is doing, and touching, it's actually touching the people who cannot go, travel, work. And they say, we talk to our kids are in the US, we talk to them, and that online video conversation has become so simple, so easy, and the quality is good. It just made me feel that we are doing something for everybody in this country. I went to a school near about Delhi. Again, the same feeling, right? They started having online education, and online education was there during COVID, but this was education which was with zero latency. You could see people, the teachers connected to each other. You could see the students sitting in. It was hybrid class which was going on. Unbelievable experience. And this is without holograms, without all of that which is going to happen as a part of virtual reality. So this is what 5G is going to do. It's going to touch healthcare. It's going to touch education. It's going to touch the senior citizens of the country. It's going to touch every individual in this country. You will find very soon, remote surgeries which were being talked about is going to become reality. The government service centers in Gram Panchayats will all get connected on 5G. And the experience that people will have for government services will grow. So effectively, हर एक आम आदमी की ज़िंदगी चेंज करेगा यार 5G. लेकिन उसको करने के लिए बहुत कुछ हमें करना पड़ेगा. उससे पहले manufacturing, we talked about, industry 4.0. We will see a lot of changes happening in automation will come in there. We will see that there is, the ports, there would be automated ports, and I mean, Singapore was one place where we saw some automated ports already, the entire freight logistics management being on 5G. And this is going to create efficiency. Will it take away the jobs? The answer is no. But it will help to control inflation. Efficiency बढ़ेगी, productivity बढ़ेगी, cost of production कम होगा, और उसके चलते inflation कम होगी. And with the innovation that we can do in India, because of the spread of industries that we have, because of the cover that we have, I think we can become a powerhouse when it comes to building the use cases. All of this is being talked about globally. I think I'm sure people have the numbers, but there are less than 1,000 private networks globally. Well, we can create many more. We can create 1,000 within India itself, and maybe more than 1,000 within India itself. So manufacturing, healthcare, you go to a hospital, you can actually, from your phone, all the digital records would be available. As you move to one section, to another section, to another section, to another section, you don't have to go through the queues if you have a connected hospital. Is that a reality? Some of the use cases are being tested. Some of the pilots are being done, at least on the manufacturing side, healthcare side, education side. And in the next couple of years, we may see that happening more and more. And that can only happen because of 5G and because of the connectivity which is there. I think another big thing in India where 5G is going to play a big role is on home broadband. हमारे पास 30 करोड़ households हैं, उसमें 3 करोड़ households में broadband है. Okay, with 5G and with FWA technology, I think we will see कि वो 3 करोड़, 10 करोड़ भी हो गया, 15 करोड़ भी हो गया. It will just create a growth within the economy. Indians are entrepreneurs. जब आपके घर पे ब्रॉडबैंड रहेगा तो आपके जो लोग नॉर्मल entrepreneurs हैं, and I'll give you an example. मेरा एक बाबर है, I don't go to a fancy saloon for haircuts. You can figure that out from my haircut. But so he is the one who put himself into urban company as a barber available and he uploaded a lot of his pictures, etc. Right? Now if you get 5G and if it's available at his house and it is with higher speed and connectivity, you can imagine the entrepreneurial spirit in this country which is going to grow. We are all entrepreneurs in this country, and we can create much more value not only in India but globally as well. So that's what 5G would do. That's what broadband connectivity would do, and I'm sure Shyam would talk more about the home broadband as one of the focus for his company. So if we can do Chandrayaan 3 at the lowest cost globally, and we can now launch ourselves into the sun, I'm sure we can unleash the power of 5G in the next few years with lower investments and greater value. And what we can do in India is to create an ecosystem in India. We can become a powerhouse for the use cases. And these use cases, as we talked about, requires cross-sector collaboration. वो करेगा कौन, किसको ज़रूरत है उसकी, when the telcos are there, there's no increase in their revenues because of 5G. The increase only happens because of the growth of data usage, and because of our tariffs which are so low that growth of data usage doesn't result into revenues. So there's obviously a reason for telcos to do it, but I think there's a reason, the greater reason has to come from the sectors or the industries to do it, and the greater reason has to come from the government to create a cross-sector collaboration to do it. But India can actually become a powerhouse when it comes to use cases development, because of the population and because of the need and the innovation capability that we have. We can become a R&D hub. We already do R&D. So we will have the maximum number of people who are deployed on R&D here, and they're doing R&D, but we don't have the patents. And the patents are all with large MNCs, and they don't register it in India. Why? Why can't we get this in India? Why shouldn't India become the value creator and not just be the supplier of resources and be captive? Be a captive center. So I think that's another opportunity that we have. The ORAN manufacturing, I think that's all shifting to India. iPhone 15, I'm sure it's being manufactured here. Price ज़्यादा है अभी भी US से और दुबई से, but manufacture तो यहाँ पे हो रहा है. I hope somewhere or the other the price parity also comes in when our earning parity is still much lower than US and Dubai, but iPhone 15 is more expensive for us. But this is what, manufacturing, ORAN, telecom equipment, indigenous usage of telecom equipment, that India again can become a hub for that with the kind of investment that we require for 5G on active and on passive infrastructure. I think this would also help us to grow the digital economy, and I think I talked about digital economy earlier, but with the current situation in digital economy, if you have 5G, this can just spare ahead, and hopefully the telcos will make some money out of more and more data consumption that is going to happen. I think in order to get there are a lot of enablers that we require. I mean, I think telcos today are still, the sector, I won't say telcos, but the sector is still under financial stress. The requirement for 5G is about 2,20,000 crores, 2,30,000 crores is what would be required for the purposes of actually creating the entire network. Our tower fiberization is just about less than 25-30%, whereas some of the other emerging markets are closer to 75-80%. Forget about the developed markets. And I don't know if India is still an emerging market or India is a developed market. I think that's another debate. We can't have it here, but but a lot of the other emerging markets are much ahead of us when it comes to tower fiberization. And we need that kind of money. So what do we need to do? And I was hoping that the Honorable Minister was here so that he could have taken some action steps out of this discussion. But we need to clearly rationalize the levies which are there on this sector. आज के दिन भी हम लोग most taxed sector हैं globally when it comes to license fees, when it comes to spectrum charges, when it comes to GST of 18%, and this has been discussed in multiple forums. ये कम से कम हर रोज हर बार हर forum में discuss होता है, but उसका action कोई नहीं होता है. So I think maybe we were here 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, we were also discussing the same. Nothing has moved. Not that things are going to move in 4 weeks or 5 weeks, but in the last 10 years also nothing has moved in terms of license fees and the levies which are there, which are the highest in this country. The tariffs are the lowest in this country, great boon for the consumers, the mass market, but it also leads to some level of data misuse. So the tariffs have to go up over a period of time, or the usage has to go up, and then depending upon the usage, the ARPUs would go up. And that would make things more efficient, and financial viability may start coming back to the sector, because the sector needs to make that investment. So today, if you look at India is almost 20 GB per user from a broadband standpoint. And that 20 GB, the way it's growing, will become 30 GB in no time. And therefore, the tariffs have to be rationalized in some form or the other. There are a lot of these operational challenges, ROW challenges, which are there. The ROW charges are very high. That needs to be rationalized as well. Even though there, the single window clearance, all of that has happened, or all of that has been announced, the last mile implementation of those policies is still a bit of a challenge, and I think that needs to be enabled for us to have a good fiberized 5G network, as well as providing a good quality of service to our customers. Together with that, I think we need skill sets, for dealing with 5G or innovations that happen with 5G, and the way people are going to change the way they do business with 5G. So that is also something which would be required. I think the usage of USO fund is again a big thing which needs to be done. And one of the things could be that we still have 250 million users on 2G, जिनके पास आज smartphone भी नहीं है, and they can't move from 2G to 4G because of smartphone non-availability. So USO fund को use कर लीजिए, उससे उनको smartphone ही दिला दीजिए, या फिर दोबारा elections करते रहिए हर state में जिससे लोगों को smartphone मिल जाए. Maybe that's another way to go and increase the penetration of 4G or 5G in this market. And the amount of data that 5G will generate, and we are all talking about AI, we are talking about machine learning and all that, right? Now, the amount of data which is going to get generated by 5G and which is going to be available with the telcos, and with the data privacy law, which is still, obviously the law has come in, we're just waiting for more details, etc., to come in over there. The utilization of data for AI, for ML, can again create a huge property and intellectual property in India. Some of the other big companies globally who are today ahead of AI, ahead in AI or ML, I think India can lead the way with the kind of data that India will have, or the data that will come in as a part of 5G. So I think we are actually blessed. I'm blessed, and I'm sure all of you are blessed to be in this generation in India. And because the next 10 years are going to be super exciting in this country. And I hope none of us retire in the next 10 years, or some of us may retire, but I hope we are still associated with this. But and 5G is going to play a big role in that entire, in creating that entire excitement. So I'm just going to close with this last remark that देश का विकास 5G के साथ. I think that's the way it is. And I'll just request all of you to clap for me. Thank you. Thank you very much.